Oliveri Funeral Home has been using ASD since it was a young business. Jerry, the owner of Oliveri Funeral Home, has recommended it to many funeral directors over the years. She's been with the company so long, she feels almost like family.
As a young business owner, Jerry was able to leave the funeral home but still always have a way to stay in contact with the families that she was serving.
Our firm opened in 2017, and ASD has been our choice from the beginning. Why do we choose ASD? It's simple: the people. We consider ASD an extension of our office staff. We know when we're not able to answer the phone that ASD will, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They provide the comfort and compassion to our families and allows us even greater opportunity to provide for them.
One of the things that I really appreciate about ASD, and the reason why we switched to using them as our answering service, is having grown up in a funeral home. My parents own the funeral home where I work. It's been interesting to see funeral home technology evolve over the years, and certainly in the last few years, the mobile technology especially has changed. So being able to text families from the ASD mobile app has been absolutely huge for us. Families can text us photos of their loved ones as well. Super helpful.
We use ASD answering service because they're very professional, quick to answer the phone, gather all of the needed information that we have to have. We've been with them for about 7 years now. We have 2 separate locations and wouldn't think of using anybody except for ASD answering service. They've always been exactly what we needed when we needed it, and we're happy to be customers of theirs.
We use ASD because, simply put, they are reliably there when we can't be. We're in an area that is prone to frequent hurricanes, floods, and other natural disasters, and ASD constantly provides us with seamless service. They provide our family and our clients with respectful and empathetic voices until we can get back to normal. They're invaluable to us during those times.
I've been with ASD for well over 25 years now. I've never once even considered changing to a different answering service. They are extremely professional and caring, especially when answering a first call, which is usually done within the first or second ring. I use their app, which is fantastic for correcting messages, also for putting a person on call. All of that can be done through their app.
We love ASD because they gather as many details as possible from a caller when we're not available, whether we're serving another family, on a funeral, in a cemetery, or spending time with our 5-year-old. ASD handles all the calls professionally, gets as many details as possible, and does, of course, contact us immediately if necessary. Otherwise, we're able to return to that call whenever it's convenient in a timely fashion to get the family taken care of, and we really appreciate their professionalism.
A big reason why we've been using ASD for so long is how personal ASD is when they answer the calls for us. Also, the app that they have for us to easily access our phone, to look at the calls, see the call sheet, see who we need to be in contact with and where we need to go. They're very good about getting exact information for the death call, and they're not an automated answering service, so that's why when people call, they seem more at ease that they're not going to be talking to your typical answering service. They get very familiar with our town, and so they get very familiar with where we go on death calls, and they're not always asking, well, what's the address to that place, especially when it's in our hometown. Other than that, ASD overall is a very good program that we're using. It's just very easy to use for the funeral directors, and it's very easy for the families to call and talk to someone.
We are in and out all the time and need a reliable answering service, and ASD always has professional operators answering the phone 24 hours a day. And I also have to say the app that they have for our phones is an excellent program that always recording calls as well as getting us the messages as needed.
It's also really nice to be able to text through the app, which uses then the funeral home number, so I don't have to give out my personal number anymore. And sometimes families are great with that, sometimes it gets abused, so it's nice to be able to do that all through the app. And just with the delivery of messages as well through texting to us as well as the app has been super helpful and super handy. We've really appreciated it.
We choose answering service for directors to allow us to have family time, to not have to constantly be answering our phones. They are very helpful, and they help our clients as well, also keeping us informed through the whole process. This is why we choose to use answering service for directors.
ASD came highly recommended to us a few years ago, and we have been pleased consumers ever since. ASD represents both of our companies in the manner in which we want projected to our clients. Their customer service is outstanding.
ASD is super easy to use and learn. We all have it on our cell phones, from interns to directors, because we like to stay updated.
Another great feature that they have is that they are linked to my website now. So when I enter information onto my website, it goes directly to them. I no longer have to send them any additional information for any of my cases. They use text messaging to send me my messages. And then the most important feature I feel that they have now is to be able to patch through any first call they receive to me if I'm available, to be able to speak with the family directly on that first initial call when the call first comes in. I feel that's one of the most important features they now offer.
We look at ASD as an extension of our funeral home staff, and we really appreciate the service they provide.
Another reason we use ASD is simple: the app. The technology is amazing. We have all the necessary information at our fingertips to help start waiting on our families and to start providing them some comfort in the most tragic time of loss. So thank you, ASD, and we look forward to your continued support for many years to come.
They are accommodating and even meet our most challenging situations with efficiency and professionalism. If asked, I would not hesitate to recommend ASD to other funeral homes.
I really appreciate the thorough job that they do. By far the best answering service we've ever had. So that's why we use ASD, and I recommend them highly to anyone who's looking for an answering service.